Peace everyone, Unmask Art here, and welcome to day 22 of Inktober. I think I planned the fan inkings. Let me check really quick. Yes, so let's just get right into that. Here's one from Don. He actually sent me a few of them. I've been really enjoying his work, so keep them coming, Don. And then here's another one from him. So I really liked the detail and kind of the dark atmosphere in this piece here. Very, very cool. Here's another one. I believe this one is for Furious, which makes sense based on the expression in the eyes. And here's one from Brenda. This was for Cloud. She made a nugget-shaped cloud, so perfect. Here's another one from Brenda, and I believe this is for today's prompt, which is trail. The next one is from Abigail. This is one that I forgot to share, and I really, really like it. So I wanted to make sure that I shared this one. Her Pretty Ballerina for Graceful. Here's one from Sebastian. This one is for Giant, and it's kind of like a big robot creature. Very good, Sebastian. And this one I believe is for Furious, which I think is from a movie. I forget the name of the movie, but I'm pretty sure it's from a movie. Anyways, that is it for the fan inkings. So make sure you keep those coming. I have the link in the description if you want to message those to me. Hello, Kim, Wendy, Elise, Hilde, Lindsay, Silvern, Wicked Illusions, Darander, sorry, I hope I pronounced that correct, Teiko, and Kolya, welcome, hello, and good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. So let's just get right into the inking. This is what I did yesterday, the Leviathan. If you want the line art for this, you can go over to my Facebook page and download it. I'd love to see what you guys do with this line art as far as coloring it or adding elements to it, whatever you want to do. So for today's Inktober piece, I'm doing another short one-piece manga page. This is an idea that I came up with this morning, so I think it's going to be a good one. I think you guys are going to have a laugh once we get done with this. I'm going to zoom in really quick because I'm going to focus on this first scene here. Let me see, I didn't miss any questions. Okay, good. Haven't missed any questions yet. So if you have any questions, make sure you tag me so that I know. And yeah, let's just get right into this. I'm gonna grab a couple pieces of paper just to protect the next page, because I'm probably going to use my brush here to do a bit of the silhouette here of the buildings. All right. So I hope everybody is having a good weekend. Today is a Sunday. I didn't mess that up this time, because yesterday I thought it was Sunday and it was just yeah, it was just embarrassing because I was certain that it was Sunday. I was not feeling very good yesterday. I feel perfectly fine today. I ran a little bit of a fever last night right after the stream, but I wrapped myself up, kept myself warm throughout the night, and I'm fine now, so everything is good. I think I forgot to clean my brush from yesterday. I don't know, it feels a little stiff. I don't like it. But we are really starting to wind down on Inktober, day 22. Goodness gracious. I feel like it was just yesterday. It was day 3 or something. I can't believe I've been able to keep up with all this. It's been a real struggle. I know that a few of you have been struggling a lot as well with keeping up with Inktober. But yeah, it's been much more of a challenge than I originally anticipated when I decided to stream every day for Inktober. really was not expecting this level of difficulty. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. That is for sure. Was not expecting this. Anna was kind enough to share her illness with you. Yeah, a little bit. Although it wasn't quite that. It was just being overworked. The same thing happened last year. Because last year around this time, when I started doing YouTube full time, I was really just overworking myself every single week, every single day, and for like the entire month of December of last year, I was running a fever almost every evening of that month, because I was doing 7, 8, 9 videos a week, and it was too much, and I streamed for a very long time on Friday over on Patreon, as a few of you know, and it was just too much, because I woke up the very next day and put in a lot of effort for the next Inktober piece, and it was just it was just not good, but I feel good now, and I woke up to this idea. So this idea that I have here for Trail was something a bit spontaneous. So I was kind of laying in bed, partially awake. You know that feeling where you're half asleep, half awake, and came up with this concept for a manga page for Trail. And I'm doing something. I think it's going to be uncommon. I don't think too many people are going to come up with this idea. So and of course I'm going to incorporate everybody's favorite slug and nugget. I feel like it's been a while since I've really focused on a nugget piece. It sounds like somebody's having a birthday next door. I can hear them singing happy birthday in Polish. It's quite loud too. Surprised I can hear them through the cement walls. Gosh, how long is the birthday song in Polish? Forever long. Yeah, they might be drunk. Well, they are Poles, so most likely they are drunk.
Sure, because Americans are different.
Oh, I'm not. No, that it'd be the same there as well. Trail and nugget go together like peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, I think so. Yep. He's going to this is going to be a little bit, I think this is going to be a bit more unique than just making Nugget walking on a trail. So I'm excited for you guys to see the full story of what's happening here with this scenery and manga page that I'm creating. So do you guys, how many of you are working on something right now? You have to let me know what some of your guys' ideas are for today's prompt if you're doing Inktober. And then you'll have to make sure that you send me your finished Inktober pieces to me over on Facebook as well, so that I can share them in tomorrow's live stream. I only had 8 pieces, and that's after 2 days, so it seems like a few of you are really falling off the Inktober train here. Kind of running out of steam, I think. Could somebody? I think tomorrow's prompt is juicy. If I'm mistaken there, somebody correct me. But let's run through some ideas for tomorrow's prompt, so I can get the juices flowing. Pun intended. If tomorrow is in fact juicy, I always forget to check, but I'm pretty certain that it is. You're working on yesterday's and today's? Well, good for you, Lindsay. As soon as I get more ink, I will finish my moonlit trail and hopefully starting tomorrow's. Cool. Alright, so juicy is tomorrow. You guys have to run some ideas by me what I should do for tomorrow's prompt. When I was in high school, I used to use the word juicy to describe, or juice, just the word juice. It was kind of among my family and a few close friends that we would use the term juicy to describe just things that were cool. We just say, "Oh, that's juice." Hello, Renee, or Renata, and you have to let me know if I pronounce it right. I'm still on the Inktober thing, but I have difficulties sending you pictures. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, well, if you want, you can email me. You can email me your pictures if you're struggling to send them to me over on Facebook. I don't want everybody to email me their pictures, but if you're having trouble actually getting them there, then please just email them to me instead. I don't want to miss out on sharing them. Okay. Oh, the forbidden fruit from Genesis. Oh, interesting. That's a good one. I'm constantly trying to make sure that I'm in camera frame, because I know I'm zoomed in quite a bit. That way you guys can kind of see the details without revealing too much of the story below. Although I was kind of zoomed out in the beginning, so I don't know how much you guys saw of this page. It's a simple story, so it's not going to be as complicated as the previous manga pages. This is probably going to be the most simplistic, with the exception of the cityscape here, the skyline. I'm going to put a bit of detail in the skyline. I'm going to grab my white gel pen to add in all the lights after I fill in all this with black first. Hello, Andrea. Oh, okay, second pronunciation was nearly correct. Okay, Renata.
Almost.
Sorry, I've been pronouncing your name wrong for quite some time.
It's normal thing that people pronounce it like they pronounce their own language unless they know some German and names. I hate when people say Einstein. It's Einstein. Okay?
All right,
Einstein.
okay.
Or Alzheimer.
I'm doing an orange wedge being squeezed between fingers into a glass with a face on orange, cringing in pain. Oh, that's a good one, Wendy. It's a unique idea. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do. I do kind of like that Genesis idea. The tree of forbidden knowledge. Or the tree of knowledge of good and evil. One of those two things. Nugget and a pomegranate. Oh, I kind of like that idea, actually. I'm not a huge fan of pomegranates. I kind of despise the taste of them, and I think that they're way too hard, way too complicated to cut open and eat for them to be worthy of the mediocre taste that they offer. But they are cool fruit. Oh, hello, Jesse. And Sad Kitty, welcome to the live stream. In this manga page, there's no dialogue. There's just narration. So that's one thing that I'm doing differently with this page is I'm not having any characters in it that are having dialogue, and Nugget doesn't talk, so he doesn't have dialogue. So it has to be narration. See how straight of a line I can make. Yeah, not bad. At the end of Inktober, are you going to do a complete sketchbook tour of the entire month in a video? Yes, I plan on doing that. I think that would be quite beneficial if I were to do such a video. So I do intend to shoot a final kind of sketchbook tour, and I'm going to try my best to make the video really cool to watch. I've already been playing around with how I want to shoot the video, and I want to make it more fun. I don't want to just have a camera looking at each page and then like flipping it and then talking about it. I want to do kind of like a story of Inktober, I guess. I'm hoping that I can get it done within the first couple days after Inktober is complete, so I'm immediately going to start thinking of my ideas and recording it and all that stuff. By the way, doesn't that ink stain behind the page of the paper? No, it does not. Yeah, I also have I have extra pieces of scrap paper behind it, so it doesn't. I could offer a small book of your Inktober pieces, like a little art book. I don't know. I mean, I don't think the pieces that I've done this month are really worthy of going through the trouble of getting a book printed of it. I mean, some of the pieces are kind of cool, but I don't think there's very many worthy of getting printed into an actual book. So I probably won't do that. I can't imagine that there'd be very many people that would be interested in purchasing such a thing. And I don't even know how I'd get that printed. I'd have to figure that out, for one. Some of the pieces are just way too hard to photograph because this diaper paper kind of ruined the potential of quite a few of my pieces, and pieces that I was really hopeful for but just didn't turn out because the diaper paper. Price sick line? Okay. Hello, Price sick line. Thank you for helping me pronounce your name. I don't know if I would have even come close to that. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I stay in frame. Also, what type of thingy am I holding to make the fine black? It's just, this is like the cheapest paintbrush on the planet Earth. I don't even know where I got this paintbrush. I think I got this a few years ago in like a really cheap pack of brushes that I got off Amazon. So there is virtually nothing at all special about this brush. To create the fine lines, I'm simply just using my hand to precisely lay down the ink, using just the very tip of the brush. So yeah, nothing special there at all. The good thing about ink is that it washes out really, really easy from your brushes. So unlike acrylic paint or oil painting, the brush never really like frays. And surprisingly, this brush has held its tip all the way through Inktober, and I've been pretty unkind to it, to say the least. I know you worked in inking before, but do you feel that you have improved anything with this month's challenge? As far as the technique of inking, no. I've been using ink for so long that really, I mean, just black ink. Like with black ink, I can't say that I've seen any progression, but because of this diaper paper, I haven't really fully got to experience the colored inks that I've used, as far as, you know, diluting them with water and mixing them together and making different colors. So for that reason, I haven't gotten to progress as much as I'd like to with inks, specifically colored inks. But I think what has been the biggest benefit of Inktober is maintaining a very constant rate of creation. I mean, the most difficult part for me personally of this challenge is literally making a piece of work every day, like beginning to end. And a few of you know the amount of planning that has gone into these Inktober pieces. I mean, for the most part, I spend anywhere between I'd say anywhere between 2 and 6 hours a day before the stream starts, where I'm simply just planning this stuff. And then sometimes that planning involves doing the entire rendition of this digitally first, where I plan everything out, and then I just transfer it over to this page to do it traditionally. But sometimes, and certainly in the beginning of Inktober, I was drawing 2-3 pictures a day, but then I just switched to doing it digitally. I was doing it on pieces of paper and I was showing those, but now I just do it all digitally first, and it just helps me, you know, lay out my ideas quicker. When do you think I can draw from my imagination? I think I don't think there's any benefit to drawing from your imagination. I think what a goal you should set is to be able to create new things based on, you know, things you already know. For instance, if you want to design a car, then maybe use pictures of cars to help you come up with new ideas, and that would be, I think that's a perfect example of drawing from your imagination. But this idea of, you know, having nothing in front of you and just taking a sketchbook and drawing, you can always do that and just make up whatever it is that's in your mind without reference. But I don't think there's like this magic point where all of a sudden you're able to draw things that you've never seen before. You know, if you're like, if somebody comes up to you and says, you know, can you draw a sloth for me? And you're like, I don't know what a sloth looks like. I've never seen a sloth. No matter how imaginative or how good you are at drawing, you're never going to be able to come up with a sloth if you've never seen one, and you don't know what their anatomy is. So don't stress out about the ability or inability to draw directly from your imagination. Just keep drawing. Just draw and don't stop, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Alright, I'm done with that part of the inking. Now I'm going to move on to my pen. And let's see. I'm going to add some windows to this building. Hello, Unmask and family. Hello, Riss. Good to see you. Let's see what's going on with this building here. Would getting different supplies help? No, not necessarily. It's not about the supplies 99% of the time. It's just about creating and just constantly doing it. There's no magic way to go about it. There's no steps that allow you to skip practice. And a lot of people kind of, they don't like the idea of practicing, and I hate it. I hate the idea of practicing. So I never do it. Instead, I consider practice simply creating. So I just do it constantly. I mean, I do it for a living, so I don't really have much of a choice. And so if you just do it constantly, you get better inevitably. So just keep doing it, and don't let yourself get discouraged by not creating exactly what you think you'd like to see. Just keep doing it. Keep the pencil and the brush moving, and before you know it, you'll be making everything you want to make. I'm gonna get a smaller one. Let's do some lines here for this big building. Sure thing. Price, I forgot how to pronounce your name now. I have to scroll back up and see where you said how to pronounce it. Price sick line, that's right. And throw some horizontal lines across. And black out some windows. There we go. And let's see here. What else? Let's just do some vertical lines for this building over here. Sorry, I'm a bit occupied in my mind and trying to hold down a conversation of some kind. I appreciate the questions, Price Line. helps me stay connected. So feel free to ask as many questions as you want. That is for sure. I have a question, and to all of you in the chat, how do you get the blurry background effect with colored pencils? Actually, Riss, if you search on my YouTube channel, you're gonna find a pretty comprehensive tutorial on how to do just that. I do specifically a bokeh background, but if you just avoid the last little bit of the circle part of the tutorial, then you have how to make that blurry background effect. But that's one thing that I feel like a lot of people still struggle with. And it's so easy once you break down the kind of process a little bit to something a bit more digestible for a lot of people. And I try to do that in that tutorial, but I think I'm going to actually do another one. But if that one is satisfying, then it's there for you to watch. So. Oh, that's perfect. I'm still catching up with all the videos. Thank you. I'll go check it out. Yes, yes. I've got quite a few videos to watch. Coming up on 500 real soon. I'll certainly be at 500 videos before the end of the year. I think I'm at 470 or something like that. Have I tried Powder Blender? Yes, I did. I did a whole live stream over a span of like 3 or 4 weeks where I used the Powder Blender. It was my first experience with it, and you guys, well, first real experiment with it, and you guys kind of get a full perspective of what it's like. I spray it with the textured fixative a few times. But this was a drawing journal series that I did a couple months ago, maybe, or maybe just a month and a half ago. I did it over the summer. But you can find that video series also on my channel. So I have a whole bunch of videos. I generally don't spend much time at all planning the pieces, but a couple of them took forever. I have one that took 16 hours. Yeah, that's a long time. That is a long time. I assume you're referring to an Inktober piece. Do you put all the supplies you're using in the description? Yes, I do. Yes. Your Joker piece took 2 days. Yeah, I plan around the amount of time that I'm able to reasonably spend because, you know, since I'm live streaming, I can't really do a full-fledged like master works of Inktober or anything like that. So for me, it's not at all any competition to try to, you know, impress the world with my Inktober pieces. I am trying to do, you know, the most creative things that I can think up in such a short amount of time, and then of course execute those the best of my ability. But yeah, that's a lot of time to dedicate to Inktober for sure. That is certainly an impressive feat to spend that much time. I'm sure it came out really nice though. But I plan everything I do. If I'm gonna touch a pencil to a piece of paper, especially on a live stream, you can pretty much guarantee it is planned from beginning to end. I can't work any other way. I have to have it planned out. I have to know what I'm doing. I work out all of my strategy for the piece so that I'm not going in completely blind. Finally here, I've been playing golf with Son on Xbox. Well, I can't blame you for missing a few of the live streams if you're playing some Tiger Woods or golf or whatever. I love to golf. Every time I go visit home in Ohio, I always go golfing with my dad and my sister's husband. I think the last time I went to Ohio, I think I spent about $2,000 golfing over a span of 5 weeks or something ridiculous. Just every day, like I almost never missed a day. I went golfing like every single day. All right, so there's my city skyline. Now that I have that done, I'm going to grab my brush again. Actually, I have this line here that I need to do. I want to use a pen really quick for this line. There. And then I'm going to do the silhouette here. Alright, now I can grab my brush and fill in this area with ink. I'm sorry I didn't hear you answer, but did you put the supplies in the description? Yes. Yes, the tools then list. What's in the description is what I'm using. I don't use it every day. All those tools aren't something that I use every day, but they are, you know, I have the brush, the bottle of ink, the Sakura pens, the Mangaka pen, white gel pen. I mean, aside from the rulers, I mean, I didn't put the rulers in the description. Yes, I'm from Ohio. Oh, you grew up in Toledo? I grew up in New Philadelphia. If you've heard of it, Toledo is pretty far. I think Toledo's about 3 hours away or something ridiculous. It's pretty far away from New Philly. Unless you've driven down I-77, you probably never even seen or heard of New Philadelphia. I have a lot of inking here to do. I'm filling in this whole space here with black ink. What's your Twitter and Instagram? My Twitter and Instagram are also in the description of the video. All of my social media links are in the description. But you can find me pretty easy because my Twitter and Instagram and everything is the same as my YouTube channel, and everything is just Unmask art. So it should be pretty easy to find. I'm not too big on Twitter, and I'm not too regular, with the exception of this past month, on Instagram either. In fact, I haven't even gotten to 1,000 Instagram followers yet. I have some people that follow me on Instagram, and they comment like, how do I have more followers than you? I just don't spend the time going through all the stuff for Instagram to get popular on there, I guess. I don't really know how to use it all that well. I just like to use YouTube and Facebook. Oh, you know where it is? That's cool. For the words that are going to be happening right here, it's going to be kind of difficult for me to do them because I want the words to be white. Here it's going to be easy because I'm going to just pen those in with black ink. But for this scene, I guess, if you want to call it that, I want the words to be white on the black. And I have them mapped out like I do with all of my lettering, but I gotta figure out how to fill it in with black and keep some of the white showing. So I have to like do the opposite of writing the letters. I gotta block them in from the other direction, and then I'll make any corrections with my white gel pen. Does brush direction matter when using ink like it does paint? It does a little bit, but not so much, because if you have good ink, it's going to be really opaque and it's going to be really black, and you're going to see some brush strokes depending on the paper and ink that you use. For instance, this diaper paper that's in this sketchbook, it does not hold the ink all that well, so when it dries, it's not as black as I'd like it to be, because it kind of seeps through the paper and it's not as friendly to this diaper paper. And for that reason, I like to be a little conscious of my brush stroke, but it shouldn't matter all that much if you have a good ink. And I do have a good ink. It's just that this paper is trash. But generally, the brush stroke will not matter if you're filling in a large area like this, because if you photograph it anyway, you're going to want to brighten your highlights and deepen your shadows to get that nice crisp white and black look. That's how I photograph my straight black and white pieces, is after I take the photo, I boost the highlights a little bit to bring out the white of the paper, and then kind of draw back my shadows so that they're a bit darker, and that will help remove any look in the photograph of brush strokes showing up. So I have not cared at all for my brush stroke at this point. Obviously, there is an exception if you're creating some kind of texture, but if you're just using straight black and you just want to block it all in black, then it doesn't matter all that much. Alright, I am totally done now with that brush and bottled ink. While that dries, I'm going to take this and let's draw our little nugget. I'm going to flip the page. That way my hand can lay flat on the table while I ink nugget here. I want to avoid that area completely until I'm 100% certain the ink is totally dry. Do I reply to DMs? Not really, because I don't. I assume you're referring to Twitter, maybe Instagram. I don't know. So this is the extent in which I use Twitter and Instagram. For Twitter, I don't even know if I follow anybody. Maybe like 2 people. But I use that to share pictures that I link from my Instagram, and I also tweet out when I'm going live. But I don't do a lot of like written tweets, and I don't really see a lot of my notifications. Maybe like once a week I check my notifications on Twitter. So you can just, based on that, you can just see how active I am with that. And then for Instagram, if I am working on something and I can get a picture of it and it looks good, then I'll post it to Instagram and auto share it to Twitter at the same time, and occasionally Facebook, although Facebook doesn't like it when you use other platforms for sharing. So when I post to Instagram and I click it to auto share to my Facebook page, nobody ever sees it. So instead I share individually. I share the picture by itself on Facebook and then by itself on Instagram most of the time. But if I see a direct message, I wouldn't ignore it. I don't purposely ignore any messages that I get from anybody. It's just that it's just that I won't see it for a while, and if I see it soon, it would just be luck that you happen to send it at a random time. I chose to watch it, or I mean to look at it. Would a mask medium work for ink like in watercolor? Yeah, it would work. What's the difference between ink and paint? Well, most inks are water-based, and it's just a pigment mixed in there. That's essentially what it is. There might be a few other, drying chemicals like alcohol or something like that. But when you say paint, that's super ambiguous because you have acrylic paint, you have enamel paint, you have oil paint, you have different types of paints. So there's a lot different with it. As far as technique, because you can think of ink like watercolor paint, because it acts a lot like watercolor paint. It interacts with water a lot like watercolor paint. So in that regard, there's a lot of similarities there. Oh, let's see, did I miss anything? All right, Brenda, you take care. All right, that's still not completely dry, so I don't really want to do... I really don't want to start putting in the words until I'm certain that it's completely dry, but I still have some work to do on Nugget down here. See Nugget? Whoa, Thundercats. The lid like flew off and made a mark on the paper. He looks rather cheeky today. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I had a bunch of different versions of his mouth sketched out digitally, and I was like, I didn't know which one to do. But I asked my wife to come over and look at them, and we both kind of settled on this one here. Because it was like the perfect expression for the words that I'm about to put in here. Which I'm going to do now. I'm going to lay a piece of paper down so that I don't smear any ink. And I'm going to try to write this. Maybe I should try. I should maybe choose this pen since it's a little more detailed. try to get these letters. It's going to be really hard for me to carry on a conversation and do this letter stuff. So forgive my silence. Maybe I should use the thicker pen. This line might be a bit too thin. Can you tell Anna her earrings from yesterday were so pretty, especially the flower intentions one? Christine really liked your flower earrings.
That's very nice.
Are these different scenes because I am new and I'm loving the city looking on top? Yes, they're different scenes.
This one's, I suppose, right? Husband.
Maybe. Yes. They have to be that one.
Thank you very much, people. I mean, Kristen. Oh, this works.
All right. How do these G's go? These G's are so weird. Wow, that's a beautiful piece. Oh, thank you. Are you guys getting the sense of what this is going to be yet? Are you able to finish the words? Is Anna ever going to do an earring tutorial? Maybe someday. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I think I have an idea. Let me, maybe if I gray it out, so I'll take my marker, gray it out first. They were all waiting for you to join the chat. They don't even want to talk to me anymore.
You don't want me here, for sure.
There. Now I have to take my pen and block these letters. Yeah, I need to do a waterfall. I'm gonna do a waterfall for Inktober, so I don't have to do it for anything else. Too bad waterfall wasn't a prompt this year. Gosh, it's so hard to do and make it look halfway decent. There. You can read it now. Did I miss anything in chats? No? Nothing? Okay, good. I have some erasing I need to do. I still have some lines here. I'm glad you guys are entertaining each other in the chats, so I don't have to talk as much. almost finished, everyone. I have an art style that I prefer. Yeah, my art style that I prefer is kind of the manga style. The manga / anime type style. That's just the way, like if I were to pick up a piece of paper and a pencil and just want to draw something completely from my imagination and not really be influenced by any suggestions, that's the style that I would just naturally draw, and that's kind of my favorite thing to do. All right, everyone. So here's the final. Here's the final page. This is the full story here. In a world full of terror, a single hero fights back, and in his wake, a trail of justice. So that's it for today's Inktober. See that face? How do you not love that face? Look at that smug look on his face. He knows he's the man. The slug. He's the slug. So that's one more Inktober piece done for today. Where did the name Unmask Art come from? I will answer that question, and then today's stream will be complete officially. This is a question that I've gotten a few times and I've answered in the past, but I'm not going to make you go on that wild goose chase to find those videos, because it was quite some time ago. But it has two meanings. The first meaning comes from my childhood history. The way that I used tape, back when I was doing more painting, the way that I use masking tape is something that not a lot of people do or can do. And the reason is because when I was younger, my dad, he still works on cars. He does body work for cars. And as early as age 6, I was taping cars off to prep them for getting painted. And I learned from the best. My dad taught me how to do it. And so it's kind of a subtle callback to those times, and also the way that I use tape in my paintings. And so that's half of the history of the name. The other part, which is a bit more personal, is that when I was getting ready to start a YouTube channel and like kind of really bring art back into my life, I was a really reserved person, very shy, socially, social anxiety, and I never really was comfortable talking to people in public. So for me, starting my YouTube channel was a way to put myself out there and make myself a bit more vulnerable, to help me, get better at talking to people and interacting with people and all that. and it was a little hard in the beginning. I won't lie. So the other part of Unmask is to reveal myself, and so that's the other part of Unmask art. It really has nothing to do with like revealing masterpieces or anything like that. That's so don't read into the name like that. Read into it that it's unmasking myself, like, and you know, I've been doing this for 4 years now, and I've met some of the greatest people on the internet for sure, and quite a few of you are in the live chat right now, and yeah, so it's paid off. It's paid off. I put a lot of work into it, and yeah, so that's the name. I appreciate the question. So that is going to be it for today's Inktober. I will see you all tomorrow at the same time. I will schedule out tomorrow's live stream for the same time that I started today's. So you guys take care, and I will see you next time. Peace.